Hello student, today I am going to revise chapter number 12, that is MySQL. Um, from MySQL chapter, only up to select statement will come to your examination. Other part are deleted from this chapter. So that today I am going to discuss some important topics related to MySQL. As you know that MySQL is a relational database management system. To know what is relational database management system, first of all we must know what is database. We already use database management system, that is MS Access. MS Access is a database management system, and actually in a database management system, topics related to a particular data related to a particular topic are gathered and that are stored permanently in computerized form. Or we can say that database is a coherent collection of data related to a particular topic. Coherent means interrelated. That means when we collect some data that are interrelated, related to a particular topic, and that are stored and processed using computer, that is known as database management system. The database management system help us to store the data permanently, and you can easily access the data or information from the database management system quickly, and you can update also. The update process is very easy using computerized database management system. Now here we are going to discuss MySQL. MySQL belongs to the family of RDBMS, that is relational database management system. MySQL is more popular nowadays as because of its speed, reliability and easy to install technique. That means, and one more advantage or features of MySQL is that it is portable. You can download the MySQL software free of cost from the internet. That means for installing the MySQL in your computer, no need to pay for it. It is an open source system. That means the codes related to MySQL are available in the internet, and you can download the codes of MySQL free of cost. That means no need to pay for it, and you can install it into your computer. And the installation process is also very easy, and it is very speed. That means it can store the data, you can retrieve or you can access, you can update, you can select data or information by using MySQL in a short period. That means without wasting time, you can access data using MySQL. So student, if there is a question that write down the advantage of MySQL. The first one is that the source code is can be downloaded from the internet free of cost. No need to pay for it. The second one is it's reliable. It is reliable and speed and easy to install. Okay, and the third one is it can store a large amount of data and basically used for web-based application. Okay, so if I ask you that what is MySQL, that is MySQL stand for My Structured Query Language, and it is this MySQL is organized by Oracle company. That means all the currently distributed and supported by Oracle Corporation. So today the structured query language, that is MySQL, which is available in the market, that is supported or distributed by Oracle Corporation. Okay, and it can store a large amount of data and basically used for web-based application. Okay, after that let's discuss the MySQL commands. Okay, so MySQL consists of 5 different type of commands which are used to instruct the computer for creating, for processing the data, for accessing the data. So different type of tasks are performed using this type of commands. So MySQL supports standard SQL, which is the standard language for communicating with an RDBMS. SQL consists of a number of commands for this purpose. MySQLs are divided into 5 categories. MySQL commands are divided into 5 categories. The first one is DDL, that stands for Data Definition Language. And data definition language, this language consists of different type of command like the create command, the alter command, the update, truncate and comment command. These commands are included in this DDL, that is data definition language, and these language commands are basically used to create the structure of the database. Like the using the create command, you can create the database, you can create a new database and you can create tables for the database. Like that, by using the alter command, you can alter the name of the database, you can alter the data type of a table, or you can alter the name of the table also. Okay, so there are different type of commands that belongs to DDL, that is create, alter, drop, truncate and comment. After that, the second command that is used, that is DML, that is data manipulation language. So data manipulation language means these language commands are used to manipulate the data of the database management system. This data definition language, data manipulation language consists of select, insert, update and delete command. Okay, so select statement, this is one of the most commonly used command. So select command, as the name suggests, this is used to select records from the database. Like that, the insert command, this is basically used for inserting data into the database. Okay, and after that, TCL, that is transaction control language. The command which are included in the TCL are commit, rollback, save point, etc. Actually, the TCL statements are used to manage the change made by the DML. Okay, so by using the data manipulation language, we make some changes to the database, and these changes are managed by TCL, that is data control language. After that, transaction control language, after that, DCL, that is data control language. These statements are used to give or withdraw access privilege to the database user. It includes grant or revoke command. Okay, so after creating the database, after inserting data, creating tables, inserting data into it, the complete database is installed to a company or to a user computer. Okay, so now the user can give permission some other user to use the database, or he or she can withdraw the permission to use the database. So by giving and withdrawing for giving and withdrawing the authority to use the database can be controlled by DCL, that is data control language. And the last one, that is the fifth one, is data query language, that is DQL. This includes select, show and help command. Select is the main DQL statement. So the DQL, that is data query language, consists of select, show and help statement, and out of these three commands, the select is the main command. So students, these are the different type of 5 commands that are basically used in MySQL. Okay, after how to start the MySQL? As we all know that after installing the MySQL, there is a address in your book. In the page number 102, there is a address given. By using this address, you can download the source code of MySQL free of cost. After downloading this source code, you can install it into your computer. So when you install this computer in your computer, you can open it by going to the start menu, then go to the all programs, and there you click the MySQL, then select the version. Okay, so student, this is the process, or these are the steps for opening the MySQL. Okay, now how to create a database, or how to show the present database of your in the MySQL software. So if you want to display the list of database that are already created in your database management system MySQL, so for that you can write show database semicolon. So if you write show database semicolon, then it is going to display a list of name of database that are available in your computer. But if you want to create a new database, so for that you can use the create command. So for that you can write create database and give the name. Suppose here I use school. Create database school. So here when I use this command, so a database will created with the name school. Okay, after creating the database, how can we use them? For using the school database, you can write use school. So when you write use school, so you can use the database school. Okay, so there one command prompt will available, that is MySQL. From here you can write down the commands. After that, MySQL data type, these are very important, as because whenever you are going to create the table, and at that time you have to define the data type of the field. So MySQL consists of different type of data type. So there are numerics. For that you can write small int, or you can write int or integer. These are for numeric value. After that, numeric factorial, that means for decimal number you can write float. You can write float. Float, then size, comma d. So here the size is the what amount of memory size you require for that number. Okay, so here you can write float 4, 2. Okay. So parameter size is the total number of digit and represent the total number of digit after the decimal point. So 4 is the number of digit that you require before the number, and 2 is the number of digit that you want after the decimal point. Okay. After that, you can use decimal also. Instead of float, you can write decimal, and here you also give the number, how many numbers you require before the decimal number and how many digits you require after the decimal point. After that, double is another data type, and we have text data type for character and the date and time for entering date and time of a particular field. Okay, so now student, let us discuss MySQL table. So what is a table? Table is a table is consist of rows and column. Okay. Now how to create the table? There are some rules and regulations for creating the table. That table can have maximum of 30 character table name. So when you create the table, you have to give a name, and that name consists of 30 characters. It contains character A to Z, capital A to Z and small a to Z, and number 0 to 9. A table name should begin with an alphabet. Okay students, so whenever you are going to give the name of the table, start the table names, you give the letter first, not a number. Okay, so a special character underscore is used. That means suppose I want to group a particular I want to group two words together. Suppose to tell and marks. So if I want to group these two words together, then you can use the underscore. Okay, reserved words are not allowed, like the create, select, alter. So create, these are the create, alter, drop, delete. These are the reserved word, and you cannot use them as a table name. So student, these are the rules for naming a table. Now let us discuss how to create a table. So for creating a table, we are going to use the create command. Okay, so create, after that give the table name. So here I use std info, that means student information, or you can write student, create student. Okay, so when you write create student, after that give a round bracket here, this is known as begin. Okay, so create command is used to create the table, and whenever you are going to create the table, it consists of three parts, that is column name, data type and the size. Okay, so in your book there is an example 206, create table, table name, column name, data type and size. So column name, suppose here I write roll number, data type suppose integer, I can write int, or size for integer, no need to give the size. After that you can write primary key. You can give a you can define a key for the particular field, and the primary key, which is very necessary for a table, and primary key is a key that uniquely identify one record. Generally for the student, the roll number is the primary key, as because the primary key do not have any duplicate value. After that, not null and not null, these are the constraint. Constraint means the validation rule. Sometimes we require some data for a particular field which are very necessary, and without entering that data for that particular field, you cannot jump to the next field of the table. For that purpose, you can give some constraint. For the first one constraint is not null. So if you define not null constraint, then it restrict the user to it give without entering some value in that particular field, the user cannot jump to the next field. That means if for the name field, if you give the constraint not null, then you have to enter the roll number, then you can jump to the next field for data entry operation. And if you write null, then you without entering the value, you can move to the next field of the field cell. Okay, so sometime what happened at the time of data entry, we don't know the data value of for a particular field. So that in that time you can type the null. That means, suppose for example the phone number, at the time of data entry, if you do not know the phone number, so without entering the phone number, you can jump to the next field. Okay, so these are the constraints. So student, in the page number 207, so there some 206 and 207, these two pages contain how to create the table and with an example. So I suggest you to read these two pages very carefully. Okay. So student, there are lots of topics up to select statement, but for today I am going to discuss only up to the creation of the table, and that's all for today. Thank you.